Welcome Libra to your 6/8 to 6/14 forecast. And for you, the most influential transit is going to be Venus at aphelion, which is basically Venus reaching its farthest point from the sun. And that's going to highlight your love and relationships. And that's also going to happen on June 11th. So you're being guided to reflect on your desires and relationship dynamics and recognize that it's a time to foster deeper connections and understandings. Okay, so we have the 10 of Wands here. So there's also opportunity for you to release anything that's not serving you. And I feel like for many of you, this is conversations that are being had where you're releasing some feelings of lack or anything that you feel like as a part of your partnership is not working for you, is not helping you. And it could even be like just insecurities that you may be feeling or your partner may be feeling, or just some expectations or requirements that you've placed on the relationship or your partner that you're realizing that, okay, this is a collaboration, this is a journey, this is a time for us to become one. And you're letting those things go because they're just I feel like for some of you, you're identifying that like these requirements just aren't realistic and they're not helpful, like trying to force them into the relationship. And, you know, if you're not in a relationship, these may be things that you're recognizing and realizing about yourself, like some requirements that you're putting on yourself that you're realizing are like, yeah, this really isn't me. We also have the Queen of Swords here. So this is about being honest and upfront and clear and seeing things very clearly. I love that. What else? So we have the Sun here as well. So we have some happiness and fulfillment that can come to you as a result of this process. And you may already be in this space where you do feel fulfilled and you feel contentment and you're feeling a lot of joy and excitement about what's to come. So what else do we have? The Emperor, wonderful. So we have you transitioning, like standing in your power here. I love the trajectory of this. This is like a path to me. So it's really starting with you identifying what is working, what is not working, and allowing yourself to join with your partner to connect more deeply, to discuss things, to collaborate, to talk about things, and to come up with win-win solutions that are honest. So you're sharing honest feedback, you're having honest collaboration and communication, and again, coming up with those win-win scenarios and situations and goals even that are going to result in fulfillment and happiness and a stronger version of you and your relationship. Okay, so let's get an oracle here. So we have yearning. So there may absolutely be some particular goals and a state. I feel like this is more of like an energy state that you want to see your relationship reach where, and you have to be realistic about this because nothing's ever perfect. So I'm hearing like some of you want like just this perfect relationship and, you know, that just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. However, you can have a healthy, and I say happy, you know, joyful, blissful, but you can have a healthy relationship with your partner, one where you do work through any challenges or contrast that comes up in a constructive way. And it allows for you both to continue to grow separately, but also grow together. So I feel like that's more of what you're being guided toward. And you may have to come to some truths about that, and that you may have some unrealistic expectations. And that may be the very thing that you're being guided to let go of. Okay, so it may be different for each individual. So we're going to move to the challenges now. Let's see. So we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, I want to make sure that's still in the camera. It is. All right. So with the Ace of Swords, all right. So yeah, just a lot of negative thinking here. There's definitely opportunity to let that go. And also, if you feel like you could be a better communicator here, there is something here about just as you're speaking your truth, doing that with emotional intelligence, doing that with compassion, doing that with understanding, and also giving your partner compassion, empathy, and grace, as well as giving that to yourself. Okay. What else? So we have the Four of Swords here. Okay, so you may be feeling a little down. Like, I feel like these are definitely some expectations and requirements that you're putting on things that are what you need to let go of. So this is you taking a moment. And again, these are challenges that are coming up here. So I'm trying to speak in terms of like, yeah, you're addressing these things and you're actually making the change. So definitely you may have those moments where you may not feel like resting and rejuvenating and replenishing your soul and yourself, body, mind, and soul, basically. But you may have a little bit of challenge with that and with doing that. But yeah, absolutely. You're being guided to take those moments and seek clarity so that you can replenish and refill your cup, and you can approach things, conversations, your needs, your wants. You can approach that in a more objective way. And you can see things from different perspectives as you're having these discussions with your partner and even with yourself even. So it doesn't even have to be about having a partner. These are goals and changes and adjustments that you want to see within yourself as well. So you taking those moments, excuse me, where you are resting and relaxing and replenishing your soul to help you come up with inspiration and ideas that you can implement. We also have the King of Diamonds here as well. So this is you being of support, being a protector, being a provider, and that may be something that is going to come up as a challenge for you or for your partner. So those may be things that you want to talk about, that you want to see change, that you want more support, you want more to feel more secure, you want to feel more protected in your relationship. Okay, so those may be things that come to the surface for you to talk through. We also have the Eight of Crystals here, so you may receive some communication here, which that can be good and that can be positive because we do have you working through things and collaborating with your partner here. So we're seeing here that your partner is collaborative and they're open to teamwork and to talking through things. Now, for some of you, you may not like the communication that you're receiving, or it may be I don't know if it's going to be surprising, but it may be more of like, oh, wow, are we really going to bring that up? Are we really going to talk about that? So there may be some things from your partner's perspective or viewpoint that they want to talk about and address that you may not have been ready for, or you may not have realized like, oh, wow, yeah, I guess I do kind of do this from time to time. I didn't realize it was, you know, that much of an issue for you, or, you know, something that you wanted to see change. So, you know, this could be about communication coming through to you, that you do need to take a collaborative approach on figuring out and understanding. So, like, talk through those things. Don't just immediately get defensive about them. Okay. This could also be you having a lot of things, a lot of areas that you want to address, and just know that it may be better to really focus in on and refine what you want to talk about to just a couple points here, because it is difficult and it is a lot to someone and say like, hey, I have this list of 10 things that I need you to change or that bother me, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that you would do that, Libra. You're very diplomatic. You know how to communicate. But I'm just saying, for anyone that does need to hear that, this is also about kind of refining it and really, really focusing in on the things that are of the highest priority for you. There's time. You can talk about other things that are less of a priority at a different time, but at this time you're being guided to really, really focus in on only the things that are the highest priority. Okay, so what else do we have here? So we have you opening new chapters and knowing that that is a new version of you that is stepping into those new chapters. So whatever this is that is not serving you cannot go along with you. Okay? So know and recognize that. Let's see, what else? Let's move to underlying fears here. So we do have the Page of Cups. So it is love. It is love, and it may be an underlying fear that you're not quite sure how these discussions are going to go, what direction this is going to lead you in, where you're both going to end up, if you're going to be on the same page, if you're both going to feel aligned, if you're going to feel like these are things that you do want to work on, that each of you bring up and talk about. So yeah, we do have a little bit of underlying fears here about the outcome of these discussions or of the goals that you are setting with your partner. And again, if you don't have a partner, these may be just goals that you're setting for yourself, or a different version of yourself that you're becoming here. So you may have a little bit of underlying fear and anxiety about that. So we also have the Hanged Man here. So give me one more here before we talk about that. Okay, yeah. So they're both coming out here. So there is something with your need to have some peace, to get some self-care practices in, to be quiet, to have those quiet moments with yourself where you can actually hear your higher self. You can hear your guides. You can hear the messages and the downloads that are coming through to you. Okay, so whatever this is, the fear about doing that, you may be afraid of what you think is going to be said. And this could be things that you know you need to do, ways that you know you need to take better care of yourself, ways that you know you need to not allow yourself to be taken advantage of in certain situations and circumstances, and things essentially that you know you deserve here is what I'm hearing. And again, it may not be for everybody, but for you, it is time to stand in your power. Well, for whoever this resonates with, let's say, it is time to stand in your power and to trust in you and what you deserve and you know you deserve. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm hearing that some of you may be feeling like there's some lack here and that you don't deserve these things that you're asking for in this new life, this new version of you. You may in some way feel like it's not deserved or you're not ready for it. And going within here and connecting with yourself more deeply and staying in the present moment. Get out of the past, get out of the future, stay in the present moment, and focus on what you're desiring in the present moment. Okay, so stay grounded, ground yourself whatever way that you can. Get out into nature, walk barefoot on the grass to ground yourself, or do any other exercises that you do to ground yourself, and also connect with your higher self. So ground yourself to the earth and also to essentially to the sky, but to your higher self and source for assistance. We also have the Two of Wands here as well. So there also may be, along with this, you may have a little bit of fear about the goals that you do set up for yourself or for your partner or the relationship, and you may be feeling like, ooh, can I actually do this? Am I going to be able to stand up, and hold myself accountable and fulfill my part of the agreement? Am I going to do that? And some of you may also fear, like, is your partner going to be able to do that as well? Okay, so we'll definitely get you some advice here, but we just wanted to look at those underlying fears that eventually will bubble to the surface. So let's move to potential outcomes. Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords here. All right, so you may feel like it may be a little overwhelming to you here, everything that you hear, everything that you talk about, because we do have sort of those underlying fears that are going to attempt to get in the way here. So some of you may allow that to overcome you, and you may feel like a little paralyzed and not quite sure how to move forward. And like I said, you may be wondering, like, can I do this? Like, if my partner is saying, like, look, I want to have dinner 3 times a week together. You may be like, okay, but then you get to thinking about it and you're like, well, I have this, I have that, the kids have this or that, or just, I just don't know how I'm going to work here. So it's more about that, and it could be deeper depending on you and how this resonates with you. But yeah, there may be sort of this fear that kind of carries past that after you've made these agreements, and now you're kind of second guessing, like, ooh, I don't know, can I handle this? So we also have the Four of Diamonds here as well. So Four of Pentacles. Okay, so this is about you releasing and letting go. Just letting go and going for it is what I'm hearing. It's like, look, if you made these agreements and you have a love in your life that is open and adaptable and flexible and willing to go on this journey with you and willing to make adjustments and willing to try, we know that you are, Libra. So if your partner is also on board, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't achieve. So get yourself out of this space and into one where you do have hope. You do recognize the blessings that are coming towards you. These are opportunities. You know exactly what is wanted and needed. So now this is about you stepping into your power and trusting that you have everything that you need already and that you are strong enough to do these things. Okay? And these should be things that you feel passionate about and you want to do to make the relationship work. Okay? So it should not be one-sided at all. If you are in that energy of like, okay, this is really one-sided, how did I get 5 things I need to work on and you're not going to work on anything, or you're only going to work on one thing, like, yeah, you will have to address that here also, is what's coming up here. So you may feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you feel restricted in some way, or you don't feel that things are fair. So that is going to be for some of you. For others of you, this is about you being open and being flexible and being adaptive and kind of meeting your partner where they are, and you both deciding like, yes, this is what we want to move towards, and we're both willing to make the adjustments and to take inspired action toward our goals. So we also have the Page of Pentacles here as well. So I do see that some of you are going to be enthusiastic about this new change, this new chapter. You are willing to put in the work. You are, you may want to be careful that you're not over analyzing things, that you're not going like too hard on it, and that it's just flowing naturally for you, and you're open to the adjustments, to the changes, and you're just going to let them flow through you, right? You don't have to over analyze it. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to dissect it very carefully. You can just allow yourself to have these actions, experience these situations and circumstances, and just flow with it and adjust in the process. Okay? So this is about you just going for it and accepting what comes to you and making the best of it, adjusting it, reframing it along the way. Okay? So let's see. Let's go here. So we have your dreams here. So there may be some messages within your dreams. So we have vivid dreaming. You may have lucid dreams as well. But there's definitely some messages here. And this is even about education that you're receiving, knowledge and wisdom that you're receiving as a part of your dreams. Okay, so you may want to keep a dream journal. Okay, so if you don't have a dream journal, that may be beneficial to you at this time. What else? So we also have a win-win outcome is forecast. Wonderful. I love that. I freaking love it, because that is what we're talking about here. You experiencing these challenges that are coming up, you talking things through with your partner or with yourself within, and the solution being a win-win outcome for everyone. Okay, I love that. That is the perfect way to end this. So Libra, those are the messages I have for you. Have a wonderful week.